Hello, citizens of the planet. Welcome back to Monday Musings with Larry Lelli. And this week, I have a very fascinating showbiz story to share with you all. I learned it from a dear friend of mine who was an original cast member of the musical West Side Story. And I'm not going to name any names so that everyone can remain anonymous and innocent until proven guilty. But this was a great story that I just have to share with you all. So, the show had opened in New York. It did, fairly well, and they decided to take it out on tour across America. And so the tour was going out, and it did, first a few cities, and I'm not going to even name the city that it was in. But in this particular city, there was, if you don't know this musical, it's a very difficult score. It's a very, very serious, orchestrally based score of beautiful music, but very difficult and challenging. So you need really, really excellent musicians to play it. And in this particular city, there was a fairly new to the scene percussionist who got called to play the show. That will become an important part of this story. This is going to be a little bit long, so strap on your seatbelts. So they're doing, the performance, the first couple shows in the new city, and I'm not sure if it was like I'm not sure if it was the production stage manager or if it was the dance captain. It was somebody involved with, making sure the show is in good shape. And in one of the movements in one of the scenes of the show, there's this part where, the orchestra plays this really difficult passage, of music, and then the cast on stage have to snap their fingers, right? All together. And so this person is observing the show. Again, if it's the dance captain or the stage manager, I'm not sure. This person's observing the show and hears, that section comes up, and they play the music, and then the cast on stage, and you hear like that, not together. All these snaps, not together. And so they always give notes, after the show, if there is anything that needs to be fixed or cleaned up with the show. And so this person, was addressing the cast and saying, hey, everybody, we're in this new city here. Everybody just make sure those finger snaps in that scene are really crisp and together. Everybody's, doing them all together, okay? Really make sure. Okay, great, sure, got it. They go on, do the show the next day. That section comes up, the band plays, and the cast, and you hear all these different snaps. So, again, the person in charge said, hey, what is going on, all right? It's not funny. If somebody's doing that on purpose, it's not funny. You really need to stop it. So who's going to fess up? Nobody fessed up. Everyone said, nobody's doing, we're all doing what we're supposed to do. Okay, pay attention. Pay really close attention. So the cast was starting to get concerned about this. What's going on? So one of the cast members, this friend of mine, the next night at the show, they get to that section, and he decides to really kind of pay attention to where those extra sounds are coming from. So they get to that section, the orchestra plays, da-da-da, and then the cast and you hear all these different snaps again, and he is kind of looking at the front of the stage, and he sees in the orchestra the percussionist, this new percussionist, is sticking his hands up outside the pit and trying to snap with the cast. And so they sent somebody down there into the orchestra to say, hey, what are you doing? Why are you snapping during there? And he opens up the music, and written in the music, on top of his measures of rest, are the words, finger snaps on stage. And so this guy thought he was supposed to be snapping his fingers up on the stage, so he would actually stand up and reach out of the pit and try to snap along with the cast. That's what was happening. Okay, I hope this is as funny to you as it is to me. It's hilarious to me because oftentimes in orchestra parts there will be cues written into the music so that the band knows where they are in certain, if they have a bunch of rests, there will be a cue written in and it'll say, triangle or bassoon or timpani, or maybe there will be a vocal pickup, a line, a couple lyrics, just to give the musician a reference as to, yes, they're in the right place, and that's when that happens, we're at that place. And this was one of those moments where you knew you were at that measure when you heard the finger snapping on stage. It didn't mean for you to try to snap your fingers on stage somehow. Oh, I hope this is as amusing to you all as it is to me, because I thought it was hysterical. Turns out that was who was mucking up the finger snaps for the cast. I was laughing so hard when I was told this story that I forgot to ask if they fired the percussionist or not. I assume they didn't. They probably just said, hey dude, chill out, you're not supposed to play there. And then it was all fine. But I just thought that was hysterical. One of those inside showbiz stories that you don't get to know about until you talk to somebody who is involved in that production. Okay, thanks for tuning in. I will see you next week.